Jimmy Stewart and I have been friends for more than 30 years. Such good friends that I often get asked to say something in his honor, like now. And I always accept because basically when it comes to movies, Jimmy Stewart is my Babe Ruth. The first time I met Jimmy, we were doing a picture called Shenandoah many, many years ago. And I was not known at all in those days. I played a Union general during the Civil War, and Jimmy played a grieving Southern father who's looking for a lost son.
Where's that railroad you send your prisoners to, Colonel?
It's at Ivy Glen. I do wish you good luck, Mr. Anderson. I have a 16-year-old son, too. He's in school in Boston. Thank God.
And when we did that sequence together, it's one of the few times in my life, I've never been the darling of the critics, that I got a marvelous review. That's not to say I wasn't good, but an actor like Jimmy Stewart makes everyone look better. You know, I can't envision him being bad in anything. I can envision the picture not being so hot, but not him. It's inconceivable.
I'll go along with that. I wanted to see you hang. I wanted to see you go gradually madder and madder and madder until the day finally came when you were going to hang. Well, I made a mess out of everything. All right.
The Philadelphia story is significant because it was his first shot out of the box at something grand. And look at the company he was in, Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. And guess who won the Academy Award?
No, you're made out of flesh and blood. That's the blank, unholy surprise of it. Oh, you're the golden girl, Tracy. Full of life and warmth and delight. What goes on? You got tears in your eyes.
One of my favorite Jimmy Stewart movies is Rear Window, because it's one of those movies that you can see once and then see it again 5 years later and still be thrilled by it. If you remember, Jimmy's character has a broken leg and he doesn't move around all that much, but his eyes do, and his face does. His reaction when he's watching Grace Kelly and Raymond Burr through the window, the anxiety and the anticipation, all of those things are just brilliant.
Please. Stella, what do we do?
I know that Harvey is one of his own personal favorites. He had done it on Broadway, and he did it in the legitimate theater in London before he made the film. I think he liked the whimsy of it. He liked the idea of a gentleman having a companion like an imaginary rabbit. I think it's because Jimmy is a very gentle man himself.
My mother used to say to me, she'd say, in this world, Elwood, you must be, she always called me Elwood. In this world, Elwood, you must be oh so smart or oh so pleasant. Well, for years I was smart. I recommend pleasant.
Jimmy also played a gentle character in The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance and stepped aside for John Wayne to be the hero. And it's interesting because the clout that John Wayne had when he was on screen was so much unlike the tall, frail, and gangly Jimmy Stewart that you see. But still, your eyes went to Jimmy Stewart because that's where they belonged.
You all seem to know about this fellow Liberty Valance. He's a no-good gun-packing, murdering thief. But the only advice you can give to me is to carry a gun. Well, I'm a lawyer.
Jimmy learned early on that worked.
She is that, well, I certainly am surprised at that.
That's what they wanted. They wanted that country boy, all-American Jimmy Stewart, because he represents what America would like to think of itself as being: warm, good-hearted. And his patriotic record speaks for itself. He's a retired brigadier general in the United States Air Force who flew over 20 combat missions in World War II. He's a very interesting man. And he's a very honest man and an honest actor. I know him quite well, and I cherish him, and I grieve that he's getting on in years and can't do it all over again. Because the likes of him you won't see often in this life.
I prefer you, too.
I'm George Kennedy for Turner Classic Movies.